भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. Who is stopping you? She would ask. Yes, you can go. Only then, with her permission, would he go. Sometimes, in the intimacy of dependence, his mother became his foil. When he lost a baby tooth and, on her advice, placed it under a pillow that night, the tooth vanished and some money appeared. Abhay gave money to his mother for safekeeping, but later, when in their constant association, she opposed him. He demanded, I want my money back. I will go away from home. Now you give me my money back. When Rajini wanted her hair braided, she would regularly ask her daughters, but if Abhay were present, he would insist on braiding it himself and would create such a disturbance that he would give in to him. Once he painted the bottoms of his feet red, imitating the custom of women who painted their feet on festive occasions. His mother tried to dissuade him, saying it was not for children, but he insisted, no, I must do it also. Abhay was unwilling to go to school. Why should I go? He thought, I'll play all day. When his mother complained to Gaur Mohan, Abhay, sure that his father would be affectionate, said, no, I shall go tomorrow. All right, he will go tomorrow, said Gaur Mohan. That's it, that's all right. But next morning, Abhay complained that he was sick and his father indulged him. Rajni became upset because the boy would not go to school and she hired a man for 4 rupees to escort him there. The man whose name was Damodara would tie Abhay about the waist with a rope, a customary treatment, take him to school, and present him before his teacher. When Abhay would try to run away, Damodara would pick him up and carry him in his arms. After being taken a few times by force, Abhay began to go on his own. Abhay proved an attentive, well behaved student, though sometimes he was naughty. Once, when teacher pulled his ear, Abhay threw a kerosene lantern on floor, accidentally starting a fire. In those days, any common villager, even if illiterate, could recite from Ramayana, Mahabharata, or Bhagavatam. Especially in the village, everyone would assemble in the evening to hear from the scriptures. It was for this purpose that Abai family would sometimes go in the evening to his maternal uncle's house, about 10 miles away. When they would assemble and hear about the Lord's transcendental pastime, they would return home discussing and remembering them and then go to bed and dream Ramayana, Mahabharata, and Bhagavatam. After his afternoon rest and bath, Abhay would often go to a neighbor's house and look at the black and white pictures in Mahabharata. His grandmother asked him daily to read Mahabharata from vernacular edition. Thus, by looking at pictures and reading with his grandmother, Abhay imbibed Mahabharata. In Abhay's childhood play, his younger sister Bhavatharani was often his assistant. Together they would go to see the Radha Govinda deities in Malik's temple. In their play, whenever they encountered obstacles, they would pray to God for help. Please, Krishna, help us fly this kite. They would call as they ran along, trying to put their kite into the fire. Abhay's toys included two guns, a wind-up car, a cow that jumped when Abhay squeezed the rubber bulb attached, and a dog with a mechanism that made it dance. The toy dog was from Dr. Bose, the family physician who gave it to him when treating a minor wound on Abhay's side. Abhay sometimes liked to pretend that he was a doctor, and to his friends he would administer medicine, which was nothing more than dust. Abhay was enamored with the Radhayatra festival of Lord Jagannatha, held yearly in Calcutta. The biggest Calcutta Radhayatra was a Malik's, with three separate carts bearing the deities of Jagannatha, Baladeva, and Subhadra. Beginning from Radha Govinda temple, the carts would proceed down Harris Road for a short distance and then return. The Maliks would distribute large quantities of Lord Jagannath's prasadam to the public on this day. The Yatra was held in cities all over India, but the original gigantic Ratha Yatra, attended each year by millions of pilgrims, took place 300 miles south of Kolkata at Jagannath Puri. For centuries at Puri, three wooden carts 45 feet high had been towed by the crowds along the 2 mile parade route in commemoration of one of the Lord Krishna's eternal pastimes. Abhay had heard how Lord Chaitanya himself, 400 years before, had danced and led ecstatic chanting of Hare Krishna at the Puri Radhayatra festival. Abhay would sometimes look at the railway's timetable and ask about the fare to Vrindavana and Puri, thinking about how he would collect the money and go there. Abhay wanted to give his own cart and to perform his own Radhayatra, and naturally he returned to his father for help. Gormon agreed, but there were difficulties. When he took his son to several carpenter shops, he found that he would not afford to have a cart made. On their way home, Abhay began crying, and the old Bengali woman approached and asked him what the matter was. Gauramohan explained that the boy wanted a Radhayatra cart, but they could not afford to have one made. Oh, I have a cart, the woman said, and she invited Gaur Mohan and Abhay to her place and showed them the cart. It looked old, but it was still operable, and it was just the right size, about 3 feet high. Gaur Mohan purchased it and helped to restore and decorate it. Father and son together constructed 16 supporting columns and placed a canopy on top, resembling as closely as possible the ones on the big carts at Puri. They also attached the traditional wooden horse and driver to the front of the car. Abhay insisted that it must look authentic. Gaur Mohan bought paints and Abhay personally painted the car, copying the Puri originals. His enthusiasm was great, and he became an insistent organizer of various aspects of the festival. But when he tried making fireworks for the occasion from a book that gave illustrated description of the passes, Rajani intervened. Abhay engaged in his playmates in helping him, especially sister Bhavatarani, and he became their natural leader. Responding to his entreaties, amused mothers in the neighborhood agreed to cook special preparations so that he could distribute the prasadam at his Rasayatra festival. Like the festival at Puri, Abhay Radhayatra ran for 8 consecutive days. His family members gathered and the neighborhood children joined in a procession, pulling the car, playing drums and kartalas and chanting. Wearing a dhoti and no shirt in the heat of summer, Abhay led the children in chanting Hare Krishna and singing appropriate Bengali bhajan, Ki Kararai Kamalini. We'll stop complete little more. What are you doing, Srimati Radharani? Please come out and see. They are stealing your dearmost treasure, Krishna, the black gem. If the young girl only knew the young boy Krishna, treasure of her heart, is now forsaking her. Abhay copied whatever he had seen at adult religious function, including dressing the deities, offering the deities food, offering arati with a ghee lamp and incense, making prostrated obeisances. From Harrison Road, the procession entered the circular road inside the courtyard of the Radha Govinda temple and stood a while before the deities. Seeing the fun, Gauramohan's friends approached him. Why haven't you invited us? You are holding a big ceremony and you don't invite us? What is this? There are just children playing, his father replied. Oh, children playing? The men joked. You are depriving us by saying that this is only for children. While Abhay was ecstatically absorbed in Radhayatra's procession, Gauramohan spent money for 8 consecutive days. Rajni cooked various dishes to offer, along with flowers, to Lord Radhayatra. Although everything Abhay did was imitation, his inspiration and steady driving for holding the festival were genuine. His spontaneous spirit sustained the 8 day Children Festival, and each successful year brought a new festival which Abhay would observe in the same way. Yeah, I think we can stop here as we read, Srila Prabhupada is very interested in Radha Yatra, fascinated by it. They wanted to build a cart and they could not afford. I think finally old woman has a cart which they could buy and decorate, and you see how Prabhupada wanted to imitate and make sure that everything looks like a real Radha carts done in Jagannath Puri, and he's doing everything and taking a procession, and the way it looks like it really like a real Radha Yatra, even though his father was telling it's like a children's play, but I think it's attracted everybody to participate and in that Radha Yatra for 8 days. And also, as we heard, like their family was pious, teaching or Katha about Mahabharata, Ramayana, and Bhagavatam to Prabhupada, and Prabhupada very engaged. He could listen and being associated with these scriptures, I think, which also helped him and to realize and also uh, you know put into practice and share with us.